Hi, it's Brian from Protog, and we are regularly getting asked to explain the difference between the Jinbei HD610 and the Godox AD600. Their feature sets are very similar, so we thought we'd just point out a few maybe general everyday differences between the two units. Okay, the Godox AD600 is all plastic construction. The whole casing is plastic or polycarbonate of some type, and including the handle and the mount down onto the stand. In here you have a brass nut mounted in plastic as the mount, and you know, we can have some very heavy soft boxes on these. As you know, this mechanism can be put under a fair bit of pressure. Okay, so the HD610, construction wise, it's the rear is plastic, the top is plastic, but the base that the whole mechanism sits in is metal, as is this side panel with breathing on it, and down into this part, which is the part that goes onto the stand, the mount, is all metal, including the little screw, which is a screw that's not being held into plastic, it's being held into a metal screw into a metal housing. So, you know, using a big heavy softbox, you're not worried about it coming off. Okay, so this is the Godox screen. It's on the side of the unit, which, depending on where you have it in your studio, may be a little bit hard to see. The fonts are small. It's a dot matrix screen. So it's a little bit more old-fashioned. It's a monochrome, and again, the menuing and the control is maybe a little bit more bitty, a little bit more like a speed light. In fact, you know, the whole operation of this is more like the back of your speed light, whereas the Jinbei is more like what we would be used to with a studio flash. Mode is adjusted here, multi, manual, TTL if you have that model. Menu, you've got to use your scroll wheel to come through to change things. High-speed sync, on or off, and modeling, which is not variable, it's just 3-stage, 1, 2, 3. So it doesn't mirror what the flash power is doing, it's just giving you a bit of a guide, that's all. And group and channel is up here, and off. Okay, the Jinbei HD610, the rear screen is bright and bold. It's on the rear of the unit, so it's easy to see. Mode, sync, dedication, channel, group, audio, slave, modeling. It's that simple. Adjusting the power is by pushing it in. You can adjust full stops or tenths of a stop. It's just a very, very easy interface. Modeling, on, off, test, very simple. The unit has a handle that also protects it if it falls backwards. Also just makes it easy to carry. The Godox doesn't have any handle at all. AD600, this mechanism is all plastic. This knob quite small, but again all plastic. One of the issues here is if you're trying to adjust the angle, you've got to undo it quite a way to get it off the mechanism, and then it only moves at certain points, so you can only lock it where the serrations line up. The Jinbei HD610, this part here is all cast metal, rubberized knob, and a nice knob there with a reasonable amount of torque to lock it onto the stand. And unlike the Godox, you can move it any amount you want, unlock it. You're not guided by notches in the mechanism. It's infinitely adjustable. So you can get the exact angle you want on a sock box pointing down at a product or a model. Okay, in a normal studio setup, when you're shooting, the rear screen on the Jinbei tends to be more accessible. Okay, so I'll quickly show you the triggers. We've got the Godox X series triggers. Little switch on the side to turn it on. Goes to sleep, just wake it up. Again, a dot matrix screen, and if you want to change, at the moment we're on A. If you want to change that, you think you would go to the dial. If you do that, you'll actually end up changing the mode and the channel, sorry. So you've got to put it on A, and then you've got to hit group, and it will flash, and then you can change the power of your flash. So as long as you're aware of that, but if you forget, you think, oh, I just want to change the power of my head, you spin the dial and you end up changing the channel. You've got to go back to the channel, hit group, and adjust it. So you've got to do that each time. Other than that, it works well. TTL works well. The range is really good. There's no issue in the function in regard to its capabilities and its range. The Jinbei TR611 and the 612, depending if it's Canon or Nikon. Again, a dot matrix type screen, but you know, what they've done differently is if you want to change channel A, you just hit A on the side there, it lights up, and if you come back, you're immediately in that area, and you can adjust your power up and down from there. You know, you've also got, in the Canon, you've got the ZGB mode, which allows you to have this trigger talks to Canon RT speedlights, so you can control the Jinbei flash and the Canon flash at the same time, which is pretty cool. But Jinbei have gone a step further, and they'll be releasing this trigger soon, which is very, very, very easy to read. It's obviously a different type of screen, backlit, very quickly, easily at a glance to see what settings you've got, but this trigger also has Bluetooth, so we'll talk more about this in the future, but it just goes to show how Jinbei are not just bringing out a product, they're bringing out a complete system of product, and they'll all work together. So this trigger technically has the same functionality as the standard TR16. It's called the TRQ6C, but you'll also be able to get the TRQ6N and S when the Sony version comes out, and this will link with a iPhone or Android app, and you can control your whole studio from your iPhone. And you're probably looking at a trigger that is, in Australian dollars, maybe about $149. That's early estimates. Units about maybe 3 to 4 months away. So again, more options, more control, more of a system. Okay, here we have a comparison of the Godox AD600 and the HD610 from Jinbei in regard to their modelling lights. At the moment I have the Godox on the minimum power. The Godox does not have proportional modelling. It has 3 stages of modelling, so I'll slowly bring it up. It's on minimum at the moment. That's the second power, and that's the third power. So you have to manually change that. It doesn't correspond to the output you have for the flash. I'll just turn the Jinbei on. And see, this is the Jinbei. You can see it's a warmer colour. I'll turn the Godox off. The reason Jinbei have chosen a warm colour is to match in with any other incandescent or tungsten based modelling lights you may have in other flash guns you're using, and that's on minimum power. So I'll just turn the power up on the Jinbei. So that's the Jinbei. And that's the Godox. So as you can see, the Jinbei's got a lot more power, so you can actually see what your lights are doing. The HD610 comes in a little carry bag that protects it when you're travelling with it. The Godox comes in a box with a little soft case. The Godox comes with a bag. That bag is designed to be a waste bag when you use it with the remote head. As you can see, with either the cord sticking out the top to run your second head, or the cap, or the flash tube, the bag will not close. So ultimately that just means you have to find your own way to cart your heads, which means an extra purchase. You have an option with the Godox to purchase the extra head that allows you to remotely take the flash tube out of the head and run it remotely with this on your waist. It's a great feature. It's really one of the advantages of the Godox system. But just one word of warning, a little bit of a concern. You can plug the head in like that. But the problem with this is that it doesn't lock in, it's just held in by pressure, and you can actually lift it halfway out, or you could tug on that cord. The problem I have with that is there are incredibly high voltages go through these pins, and you just need to be aware of that. I'm not saying it's a design fault, because I believe they can supply a locking ring, and I would certainly try to find that. But you do need to be aware, because we're not talking small voltages, we're talking tens of thousands of volts travelling through to the flash head. Something to be aware of. So an overview of the HD610, you know, some of the things we're showing in this video are just everyday usage type comparisons, like the ability to adjust it to any angle, the metal construction through here, the large display, the handle. These things are small, but they make your life a lot easier. The fact that the modelling light is bright enough to actually act as a modelling light, the fact that it proportionally mirrors what setting you have, these are really important things for everyday use, especially if you're matching this head in with other traditional studio lights, which of course you can do, and it makes it seamless. It means that you're not having to compromise because you've got a battery operated light that's not really cutting it. The HD610 really competes with the top end of the market.